Hi and welcome to my channel, Hisame Artwork. Okay, let's post the text. So I have my mic on today. So if there are any issues with the sound or video, please let me know so I can try and fix it if there are any issues. So I put a little banner up here just so you know that I have my microphone on. Just a little reminder. Squeeze this in. Nope. I'm happier now. Okay, so today I'm gonna continue coloring this illustration. And let me just check that all the streams are working properly. Yep, so this is live. And I actually have good internet today. The lag is really small compared to other times. Okay, let's see how this one is going. Yep, this one is working well. It's always weird hearing my voice. Yes, so oops. I'm gonna go to Twitch and see if that one is working. I am so sleepy. I'm gonna go to Twitch. Yep, that's working as well. Awesome. Okay, I think I can leave this on. Don't think it will eat too much of my bandwidth. Okay. Oh yeah, the news. Okay, so gonna read the news while people are still gathering. So I don't know if I should do this at the end or at the beginning. I'm trying both ways. So far I've done these announcements at the end of the stream, but I thought start to put them in the beginning as well. So for those of you that don't know, subscribing to YouTube and Twitch is free. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give a like, it helps a lot. So you know, when you like an artist's content and you show your support, you are helping that person increase their reach. Because you know, on Facebook you have to pay a lot all the time, and on Twitter be able to reach the people that already liked your page. So I have like 2,000 followers almost on Facebook, but my organic reach is about 6%. So only 6% of those 2,000 people will actually see my posts. And if you like, for example, a post and you give it a like, then you increase the chances of it reaching more than 6%. And if you look at a post and do not react to it, it is considered like a downvote. You are not interested in that because you don't have a dislike on Facebook. The default dislike is when you do not interact with the post. If you do not click on it, if you don't like it, if you don't comment on it, it is considered as a downvote. And of course, this is a strategy that Facebook employs in order to tax us, the artists or the content creators, tax us more. So we always have to pay ad revenue, pay to promote a post on Facebook. So this is one of the things, the issues I have with Facebook, and Twitter is doing it as well, and there are other platforms that are either doing this or considering doing this. Okay, so I am open to music collaborations as always, and I am in need of a jingle. Currently I am using royalty-free music for my videos, but if you are a musician and are looking for graphics for your channel, let me know. I'm always open to collaborations. So new comic page every Sunday night on Tapastic. Currently started the new um, um, well, it's the first part of the comic is it's old, but after page 10 it's gonna to be all new content. My Niels Feynman comic book series is a science fiction, and you can read it here. A new page every Sunday evening, and the line art is done by June Fender, my friend, and I will be coloring it live some of the days. Today I am doing the autumn birds illustration for my art prints on Society 6. For those of you that don't know, Society 6 is a print on demand website, and you can upload your designs here and then order them online, or you can sell your art prints. Like I said, I stream live every Tuesday and Thursday between 3 and 5 p.m. Michigan, USA time, that is GMT minus 5 hours. And I post on YouTube when I have the next stream, and it has a countdown. And also here you have on my blog, hisameartwork.wordpress.com, you have a calendar, and it shows you the days that I'm going to stream on. So I'm going to stream until the middle of December, and after that I'm going to take a pause and restart in January the streaming. Hi June, how are you? Just reading the news. So commissions are open, and you can go to my blog to see the discounts that I offer and what the prices are. And as always, you can use the hashtag HisameOCL to find my giveaways. The Hisame Original Character Lottery is a reward event I hold for my supportive followers, in which I give merchandise, artworks, and other things. I give them away as gifts. I will be starting a vlog in December. I'm gonna see how that works out. I think it's easier to share my news that way to you. I think so. We'll see how it works, if you like it or not. And also be an opportunity to connect with my following better, because comments, messages can get lost on platforms. So I'm gonna try the vlog strategy, see if that is going to be easier for me to impart information with you, such as discounts for the merchandise or whatever events are going on, and also keep track of some of my artist friends and what they've been up to. Two was really good at this, but that platform closed, so now I'm kind of trying to reconnect with my art community that way, through YouTube and Facebook and whatever else is available for us. The Earnest booklet is now available on Lulu for purchase, and the calendar is coming now in November. I have finished the design with it, and I have published it on Lulu, but I have to order a proof for that, and once I get the proof and see that everything is okay, it will go on public sale. And I'm still in need of a programmer for my Earnest RPG video game that I want to do, so you can read the story here for Ernest and Coraline. And on this comic book that I have completed, I will make the RPG. So I hope you will enjoy that, playing as Ernest and going on his little adventures. Okay, enough for the news. I'm going to start finishing maybe today this illustration and put it in the shop before autumn ends. So I am using Clip Studio Paint. There we go. And I have a Wacom tablet, medium size. I find that the medium size suits me best. Okay. These colors are so saturated. It's kind of a bit tiring to look at them for too long. I'm gonna erase that there. Okay. Really complex structures with leaves, so trying my best to do it correctly. I'm looking at reference images all the time. So these are chestnut leaves. And just kind of look how they are situated on a branch. You have these really long stems. Unfortunately, I don't have any chestnuts around my street to go look at. We should have more monitor. What do you mean by more monitor? Yeah, I would have liked that too, but there's just no room on my desk. The house we're in is not really big. I know usually American houses are pretty big, but this is university building, so not that big. It's really a lot bigger than some houses I lived in apartments, but the rooms are not they don't allow for much room. And in the room that I'm in, I have my desk and my husband's desk, and I'm trying to fit everything in here. And some of the workplaces I've been, I had two monitors because it's really useful. For this illustration though, I could have had like a leaf to hold in my hand and look at, or a branch or something. But I have no chestnuts around here. It's not customary. In Bucharest you could find chestnuts everywhere. You go to a local park and find a chestnut tree, because the flowers are very ornamental in the spring, and we had like different varieties of chestnuts. But here it's not so much. I can't find linden trees either. And you know, in Europe often they use linden trees on boulevards as ornamental decoration, and also they're very fragrant. But here not so much. And I don't know if it's because of the age of the village. It's like only maybe 300 years old. I kind of doubt it. It's more likely like only 200 years old. And before that was kind of like farmland and swampland, and it's become like a modern village maybe for 100 years. So they haven't really had any history or tradition in being very decorative. They do have a lot of flowers that come out every spring. So um, for example, there's this little abandoned school church at the end of my street, and every spring tulips and other lilies and other flowers come out of the ground, so that's really nice to look at it. Whenever we go to Walmart for shopping, we can see that little garden, which is really nice. So they have a lot of flowers, but not that many ornamental trees. Like I said, for a tree to grow, it takes a long time. Only recently they've built a new building for the university. I think it is a residence area with a huge parking lot, and it has some trees, and some of them do bloom. And they're one of those red leaf trees, like dark red, and when they bloom it's like this hot pink color. They look really eye-catching, and like you see them better than the stoplight when they're in bloom. So they are investing in decoration, but I think it's a more recent tradition. And tomorrow my husband and I want to go to Mackinac Island, which is a lovely little island, and if you ever have the chance to go there and you are in Michigan, I would definitely recommend visiting Mackinac Island. Although be careful if you go in the more hotter seasons, because there are a lot of horses, and the island smells absolutely horrible because of the droppings of the horses, and also the urine has a very potent smell. So if you are have a sensitive nose like me, you will lose your appetite and kind of starve the whole day. But it's very beautiful, Mackinac Island. The water is very cold. You will not be able to swim there, so you'll just go and look. Mackinac Island. There we go. So it has these very lovely houses. Hi Kay, how are you? So today, tomorrow is gonna be a bit cold. So I'm hoping that it will not smell as bad as when we went last year in August. It was the smell was absolutely overwhelming and horrible. And hopefully now I'll be able to sit and be able to take photographs properly, because last time I was just holding my breath all the time and trying to keep my scarf over my face, and I couldn't take much pictures with one hand and the other trying to hold scarf around my face. The smell was absolutely overwhelming, and also some horses were scared and started a little stampede, which was kind of frightening. So I told my husband I want to go in the forest, and we kind of went to the forest trails, and we didn't watch too much of the city. But maybe now we'll be able to visit it properly. So yeah, I had no ideas that horses could be so smelly. I mean, I knew they smelled because my grandfather had a horse. He didn't have a car. I don't think he ever had a car. I think he always had a horse and buggy carriage. I don't think it's a buggy because it wasn't covered. So I think buggies are covered and carriages are uncovered. So he had a horse and carriage, and that's how he got around. And I kind of knew the horses weren't the most well-smelling animals, but boy. I think out of all the farm animals, cows smell the worst. I mean, sheep can smell pretty bad too. Pigs also, but cows, they do it everywhere, and then they roll around in that. While pigs and sheep tend to be a bit more clean. Like they're not as bad. Goats, I've never smelled a goat. I don't think I've ever gotten close enough to any goats to know. I've seen goats, mostly mountain goats, at the zoo. So I imagine that they have a pretty strong scent on because um, yeah, because I can smell it in the cheese, but like you said, it has the droppings that they have to sit in the sun a bit longer in order to take effect on you. Rabbits are surprisingly stinky. I had no idea. They look very cute in the videos. You know, you see them on YouTube and they seem really cute, and you see them on the farm for a petting zoo. But until you own a rabbit, I don't think you can fully comprehend the gravity of the situation. I mean, you have to own a rabbit in order to understand just how bad it can be. So yeah, there's definitely reasons why cats are preferred than dogs. There have been so many breeds and breeders for them that they've kind of managed to get breeds that you can handle in the household. Because, for example, German Shepherd is pretty smelly. But you have other dog breeds that are easy to wash, easy to maintain. And a cat, if you sterilize it, you can barely smell it. I mean, I've been to some friends' houses and I don't know, remember exactly what kind of cat breed they had. I think it was kind of a street cat in the end, but it was sterilized and it was a pretty clean kitty, so you couldn't tell that they had a cat. And other ladies that I visited, oh my god, the house smelled absolutely horrible. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. Oh yeah. I had a cat like that. My cat Zoro, I've been posting about him. He liked to go to the dumpster and I don't know what he found in there, but he always came home smelling very badly. And it was always so difficult to wash him because obviously he didn't want to be washed. He thought there was nothing wrong with him. I honestly think that that cat had kind of a smelling impairment. You know, some people are born deaf or blind. I think he was born uh, with a defective nose. I just think he wasn't aware of how he smelled. So yeah, the adventures of owning pets. I think it's really fun to have a pet, but you gotta have time for it. also you have to have vet identification for them and just a whole bunch of other things. Oh, fortunately I never had to smell a wet dog, but I have been told it can be pretty bad, especially for a German Shepherd, as one of the more smelly breeds of dog. I would have liked to have like a pet raccoon, but to be one of those tamed domesticated raccoons. Though they're very rare, and dom domesticated raccoons are a pretty recent thing. Like it's only been in the 70s they started domesticating the raccoons. So I'm probably gonna still chew your face off if they have a chance, and are still gonna be pretty destructive. I mean, some cats can be pretty bad as well, but if you raise them properly, um, they won't destroy your house. I don't know with raccoons if they respond to human training in any way. And they're also nocturnal. Um, Cats are also nocturnal originally, but through breeding, um, they can be awake during the day as well and not have any problems because of that, and not be grumpy too much. I mean, cats are generally grumpy regardless. But they have been bred to a certain extent to like be nice to people. And for example, the ragdoll have one of the most adorable personalities, and they keep getting praised for their temperament and being compared to dogs. So yeah, if they can get a raccoon with a ragdoll personality, I think that would be really nice. And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen sooner than later because raccoons are just so adorable and they're very smart. And as more and more people live in the city, they're gonna want pets. And they're gonna want mini gardens and stuff like that. A lot of people crave that atmosphere, vegetation, furry little company. So in the past, nobody bothered to domesticate a raccoon because there were no use for them really, and they don't respond well to that. A cat was useful because it kept the vermin population low. Dogs were good for protection and so on, for hunting. There was never any use for foxes or raccoons or other carnivores that could cause damage instead of helping. So I'm pretty sure more and more people are gonna want pet raccoons. You should try to do a 24-hour stream later. What? Why? 2 hours is big enough an effort for me. I'm not a talkative person, so I prefer to listen to other people talking than talk myself. But since it's pretty difficult for you guys to uh, talk, I'm doing the talking because there's a lag in the chat. So 24-hour stream. I don't see the use for it. Why do a 24-hour stream? I know some people do it for charitable events. I'm not sure how that works. Hmm? Okay. Why would you want to do a 24-hour stream? I really don't understand the appeal for it. Yeah, okay. James K has disappeared. Yeah, usually when people do these 24-hour streams, they take turns. So there are several people that host the event. It's not one person. But to what purpose? I mean, will people actually come and listen to you talk non-stop? What can you possibly talk about for so long? Oh, it's a trend. Well, I guess if you like talking, it's not something difficult for some people. They're recording while they're sleeping. That's really creepy, and I can only imagine it working for girls mostly, and all the creeps that want to watch them sleep, and they get a kick out of that. So I can't imagine it being interesting to watch someone sleep. The internet is a weird place. Yeah, I've seen a lot of weird YouTube things, like a lot of Asian women are recording themselves how they're eating because apparently a lot of Asian people live alone in Korea and Japan, so they feel lonely when they're eating, and so they eat with somebody else. I don't know why they're not doing that with their family. If you wanna eat with your family. Like, for example, when my husband was here in the US, because he arrived before me, we would sometimes take like part of dinner together, and he'd be eating and talking to me on Skype, and I'd be doing the same thing. But to do that with a total stranger, kind of weird. To watch a stranger online eat. Oh yeah, the internet is definitely a weird place to be in. Can find all kinds of stuff. I mostly watch reviews for films, or I watch tutorials. Uh, or there are online book clubs, though not that many. There are not as many as I would like. You know, um, the guys from SciShow, the Green Brothers, they have a crash course in literature. So, Hank Green discusses, no, not Hank, the other one, John, discusses books that are usually have to be studied in American schools. So it was made with this in mind. And he discusses a lot of interesting things. So I enjoy listening to his comments on these books. Especially since there are a lot of books that we didn't study in school. If we did any English literature, we did British, we didn't do American. And also I like there are a lot of movie reviews that are being made. And so, there are some movies that I really don't think it's worth paying any money to go see, but I am curious what all the discussion is about. So I do listen to movie reviews. And I like that some channels are made by people who are well informed, who have a great deal of education in regards to films and theater and literature and a whole bunch of other things. So they explain in a much more wider context to understand why that movie was made, when it was made, to who it pays tribute to, how it was received. And they do talk about talents outside of the US, so there are a lot of film directors in China and in Russia, so a lot of talent there, and these movie reviewers reference those guys. So sometimes I go and check them out. And I have really creepy claws. This bird. Sorry, I'm gonna tone it down with the details. Let's see if this works better. Yeah, the yellow nails I think were too creepy. I recently saw a film. It was really funny. Um Nixon meets Elvis. It's named Elvis and Nixon, and it's about how Elvis met Nixon in order to ask for a badge. So Elvis was made some kind of federal agent in order to help fight against communists and drugs. So, Elvis wasn't in his right mind all of the time. And as more famous he got, the more kooky his ideas were and things that he did. So it's definitely a fun movie to watch. As you know, Nixon was a character in his own right. And it's just a really fun film to see. And Kevin Spacey and Michael Shatner played. So, um, Lex Luthor and General Zod played Nixon and Elvis. Which, that movie right there, you have to see it. And this leaf middle, there we go. I'm gonna erase this here, I don't think I need it. So I've been looking at RPG programs to see how I can make the Ernest the Blue Bunny RPG. Programming is definitely not my strong suit, so I purchased RPG Maker and try and do it in there. It's gonna be pretty restrictive. There'll be a lot of things that I don't think I'll be able to include because the RPG Maker doesn't have those options, and I don't know how to code them myself. but I definitely plan on getting into that more in depth in this Christmas vacation. Try and see what I can do in terms of writing the dialogue and all the things that are necessary for that. And do the animations. Okay, what do you use to do your animations? What software do you use? I'm gonna need to do a lot of animations for the Ernest RPG. I'm gonna have to probably export PNG sprites, PNG files for the animation sprites. And I don't know if I should go with something like Photoshop or Flash or After Effects. I've done most of the animation what I've worked at in After Effects, so I think that would be the easiest to stick with. Pivot stick figure animation. Pivot stick figure animation. Let's see. Pivot stick figure animation. Stick figure animation. I'm so sleepy. I don't know why. Oh, this one. Mm-hmm. I think I will stick with After Effects because um, it's connected to Illustrator and Photoshop. So if I edit something in Illustrator or Photoshop, it will transfer automatically to uh, After Effects. So I think in the end that would be the best way to use and do the animation. Yeah, I saw your animation. Um, the animation, the movement was very good, but the way it looked, it was not the most appealing graphics. Um, but I think that was more of your color choices than necessary the resolution it can handle or the any problems on the software part. And also my little Ernest, you know, is he looks very simple, so I can definitely put him in uh, this program. The only issue is if I decide to change, for example, his facial expressions. I need to be able to change that, to change his face without needing to change his movement. I can definitely understand the appeal of it being free, but since I have all of the CS 5, I think, the Creative Suite number 5, I have it already purchased for the university. My husband bought it a long time ago, really cheap. So I've been using that for a couple of years now. I also had my own Photoshop, so now we have together free Photoshops, or two, I think. I don't know, I don't remember exactly. I think we have two. I had a much older version that came with my tablet. So I had Elements, and I don't think I had, don't remember if I had something more recent. I have to check my Yahoo Mail. But I don't think I'll ever need that old Photoshop. Maybe I'll give it to my sister. One of the workplaces that I've been at had Photoshop Creative Cloud, and it really didn't impress me with much. It just seemed like a waste of money, but considering how many computers they had for how many employees there were, um, and that it was a startup, I think they couldn't have afforded to buy licenses for all of those programs. So they didn't really have much of an option. It was either buy Photoshop or buy something else. And I would have gone with something else, but the main thing that Photoshop has going for it is the fact that all of the programs are compatible with each other. So if you update something in one of the programs, the update cascades into the other files. So that's one of the main advantages for the Adobe Suite, and the fact that they have so many products that changes can cascade into. I don't think I need to put that much detail into this part, because yeah, it's coming over the bird. I'm gonna give it a try and do some animation in Clip Studio Paint as well. See how that works out. If it's easy, if I can do it. At the moment I'm really curious to try and find out some good tutorials for how to make comic books. And try and improve. Oh, wrong layer. Huh? No, it is the right layer. Oops. On which? No. Wrong layer. Damn. Okay, I will merge these later, I guess. Okay. Yeah, I always do this. I always put on the wrong layer. Yeah. Multiply. Okay, and kind of create a bit of difference between these. Multiply. And the add glow. Kind of make it like the light is coming through the leaves. Not bad. Oh, that's too much red for my eyes. They're hurting me. These are some really saturated colors, and all of them. Oh, they're in the spectrum that human eyes are really sensitive to. So we are sensitive to green, yellow, red. That really does it for us, I guess. When I draw blue things that are saturated, it never gets me this bad. There are some peaks in the magenta and the teal area, but they never hurt my retina this bad. I forgot to blend that parts up there. Okay. Blend you. Did I have the smooth one? No, I had the dense. Okay. And up here. I wish they'd make as many reviews and analysis for comic books as they do for movies, but I think the main reason why it isn't is because a lot of comic books are still, most of them are not serious art. They don't tackle art subjects with the same seriousness as in other mediums. And also I think it's the age of it. So you had paintings and music, one of the first art forms, and then you had photography, and then you had movies, and then you had comic books. They really started taking off and becoming kind of their own art form. And the latest kid on the block is video games, and actually you have a lot more serious video game reviews than you have for comics and analysis of video games. You have much more of those than you have for comics, and I think it's because video games have tackled some issues with more seriousness than maybe comics. Now there are kind of a lot of comics that are tackling, issues of race and politics and stuff like that, but you still have it with comic book heroes that look really colorful, so it's kind of hard to take a person like that serious when he is talking about certain philosophical issues. And I think in many ways the discussion is a bit dumbed down because the audience is more young or less informed about historical events. So maybe that's another reason why it never took off that much. And also the reach of it, like you had comic books in France, so you do have somewhat of a comic book culture there. You have a strong comic book culture and comic book consumers in Japan, so they might be willing to look at more serious stories, or at least stories that take themselves seriously. And you have, of course, in America, but everywhere else, in Romania, I really can't find any place to buy comics. You can go to cinema. You have a lot of cinema theaters, but you don't have that many um, video game shops. There's a lot of pirating, so there isn't much interest for learning about video games in Romania, and certainly not for comics. And I think it's pretty much the same issue in other places as well. So since there's not much interest and emphasis put on this, there's really no reason for comic enthusiasts to do that many reviews. They have started to do, for Marvel and DC, and that's usually the only brands that are discussed. There are not a lot of other companies that deal in comic books. You have Webtoon, that is an online platform, but it's big only in South Korea, and you can access it in the United States, and it is in English, but they're not doing much in promoting names and people, and it's a pretty closed loop community. Like, you're not gonna have any Netflix or HBO companies like that deciding, oh, let's look into these indie webcomics, and oh, these are really cool and a lot of people like them and they're a bestseller somewhere. Let's make a movie out of that. They're so far they're bringing to the screen book writers. So J.K. Rowling, R.R. Martin, all the Twilight and the 50 Shades of Grey and the Divergence and all that stuff, it's coming from books, not comic books. Hi Anna, how are you? Happy to have you. So I think until there will be a shift in that direction, making comic books is not gonna be a profitable venture. How have you been, Anna? I was talking about being an independent comic book writer, and how these days it's much more affordable, or maybe you have more chance of becoming a successful and rich artist if you write a book rather than a comic book. J.K. Rowling, George R.R. Martin, the Twilight writer, the 50 Shades of Grey writer. They were a bestseller, and then their book was made into a film, and they sold even more copies after that. It was like a huge commercial for them. Whilst I don't know any movie that's been made from indie book writer. We do have comic book films, but they're only from Marvel, DC, things like that. Like, I don't know, do you guys know any uh, films that were made uh, from independent comic book writers? Yeah, but it doesn't reach us that much. I know in Japan it happens quite a lot. A lot of the animes start off as manga. So maybe June for us, it might be an idea to go on that route, join Webtoon at some point. But Webtoon is pretty hard, and one of the big complaints in the Japanese manga industry is they don't take any risks on new material, and they make a lot of these Lolita style uh, shows that all the action takes place in high school, and there's a lot of high school drama. And they're suffering from their own lack of originality, and they're blaming it mostly on pirating. Do you guys know Crunchyroll? Oh, I'm sorry. Where did you? What part did you lost? What part did you lose? I think it's correct, not lost. Yeah, I been reading about because there are a lot of online reviewers, and some of them are Americans living in Japan and working there. Some of them are all Japanese, and they're commenting on their own industry. And the complaint was that they're suffering from the same lack of originality as Hollywood, and a lot of them are blaming it on pirating, and so that's why Crunchyroll was born, to try and curve that pirating. And this is mostly in the anime industry, the issue. Um, the complaint is that they're only making anime series after really cheesy, crappy um, stories of high school girls that have just been done over and over, and they're not doing anything new. And it's the whole thing has gone stale. So that was their complaint. And also they're marred by pedophilia scandals, that they are portraying young girls in very unflattering circumstances. And I don't remember the minister of what sector wanted to put marks on the books. You know, he didn't even want to ban the books. He just wanted them to be labeled uh, as adult content. You know, he didn't want to burn them. He didn't want to forbid them. He just wanted them to have the label of this is pornography, and it should be labeled as such for the comics that indeed featured pornography. And I think in the end he wasn't able to. I don't remember the whole story. But he did ruffle some feathers in the manga industry. And they were like, oh, nudity, it's very normal. Sexual nudity, also very normal. Sex is part of life, and uh, we shouldn't hide from that. This is art. Violent pornography is art. Was pretty much their answer. Yeah, I really would like to have, you know, like a heads up about the content of the book. For example, I like the stories in George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones, but there's just so much violence and nudity and sex, and it's really not fun for me to watch that, especially because sometimes I like to watch something while I eat. So I would like to know if there are going to be decapitations and rape in that TV series or that film, so that if I do choose to watch it, I'm not gonna do it while I'm eating, because it really spoils the appetite. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't wanna watch this anymore, and then I'm really busy, so I don't get to watch the film anyway, so kind of falls out of my spectrum because it's too gory or whatever its issue is. They scream a lot. This is also I don't like in films when they're screaming and screaming and screaming so much. Like, for example, I wanted to look into the series. Yeah, I didn't read the books because I heard that they're even more violent than the TV show, so I just listened to book clubs on YouTube. There are book clubs, and they were like explaining all of the things in the books, and I was like, yay! Yeah, I don't like that as well, and I don't think I will read the books ever because I heard that they're a lot more violent than the film. So that's really off-putting for me. I don't wanna read a story for that shock value. I think you can uh, put your point across without traumatizing me. You know, if I wanna be depressed and shocked and stuff like that, I can watch the 5 o'clock news and or some other news show where they show you the bodies of people, real people that have died mutilated or something like that. And I don't get cheap thrills from watching such things, so I rather not. Where's the layer auto? Which layer are you? There we go. This one? Yep, this one. So yeah, I would like a heads up for certain books and TV shows. I would like to know what I'm getting into. Like for example, a lot of people have been praising um, Black Mirrors. That, oh, it's the new Twilight Zone. You have to see it. It's such an awesome movie. And I thought, okay, let's watch this. And oh my god, British actors love to scream. They were screaming so much. No, I haven't watched Breaking Bad because I really don't like the violence that is supposedly in the show. I don't know, but that notion that there's gonna be a lot of violence in it, I wasn't even curious to watch Breaking Bad. The only reason I got into Game of Thrones was because it had dragons, and I like dragons. So if Game of Thrones didn't have dragons, I would probably not would have not gotten into it. Yeah, I don't like drugs. I don't like stories about drug dealers and mafia and stuff like that. It's really not my cup of tea, so I don't think I'll ever watch Breaking Bad. Yeah, they're just issues that I have no contact with, no context, no appeal. They don't appeal to me, so I don't think I'll ever get into Breaking Bad. And I started watching it for Game of Thrones. I started watching it for Sean Bean. Mostly Sean Bean and dragons seemed like a really interesting combination, so I started watching it for that, and I stayed for the story because I liked it. Now I'm missing some leaves here. Where are my leaves? Yeah, so I kind of stopped watching um, Black Mirrors because it was really annoying. Every episode, some British person, actor, character, whatever, it would just start screaming and screaming and screaming like, ah, it's so horrible, ah, 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 ah. It gets really old really quickly and very exhausting. And they scream in Game of Thrones as well, but usually they die pretty quickly, so they don't scream that much. But Black Mirror's a lot of sadistic, emotional, weird stuff, and they just were screaming and screaming, screaming. So if you're not into screaming, don't watch Black Mirror. It's gonna be really exhausting. Yeah, forgot, if you're not into medieval stuff, probably can get pretty boring. I really like medieval fantasy type scenarios, so. And I also like science fiction as well. And I like how in Game of Thrones a lot of things are explained, or you can piece them together and deduce some things about how the world works. Um, and I think that is because George R. R. Martin was initially a science fiction writer, so um, he changed to fantasy because he thought would have more appeal and he wouldn't have to give so many explanations. Because if you're a science fiction writer, sometimes you are expected to give answers, and a lot of his fans are real hecklers and like constantly pester him with questions like, how does that work, how does this work? And now his default answer is, because he's gotten a bit lazy, and oh, it's magic, it's magic, please stop asking, it's magic, I already told you guys it's magic. It is magic. And, like, doesn't bother to give any explanations anymore, so yeah. I started watching Fringe, but it got pretty lame pretty quickly. I also. Something smells strange in the house. I have the dumpster close to the house. Maybe the wind blew something in. Um, yeah, so I also liked Heroes a lot. I don't know if you know the TV series. So Heroes was pretty awesome until um, a point where it started getting really cheesy and the writing was really lazy and crappy. I also used to like Big Bang Theory a lot. It was funny in the beginning, but then it turned into a cheap rom-com, and there were like a lot of cliches in terms of what was going on in the story. I think the initial writers either got fired or left. There were a lot of arguments regarding the funding, because the three main characters, the actors that were portraying them, asked for some huge raises, a lot of money. Mystery is important, Senorita. Quote by Cortez. On this journey, the quality began to drop significantly. It's awesome. One Punch Man. I would rather not watch a TV show that doesn't have a good send-off. So I stopped Inuyasha. Oh yeah, in Inuyasha. Yeah. Inuyasha also went crappy in a weird way, and I don't even remember how it ended. Yeah, so it's definitely sad when the quality drops like that. Let's see if I can change the color of this. Color dye screen subtract. Overlay. Replace alpha. Yeah, that's it pretty much. Now I'll do the multiply. Aquarian, I don't remember Aquarian what it was. I'm gonna look. Aquarian. Oh, it looks nice. Ooh, robots. I love me some robots. Skimpy outfit. Little butt cheeks. Yep. Well, at least oh no, fan service to the boys or girls as well. Good to have equal representation. Maybe just the weirdest thing. I always find it really weird, you know, when you have guys with their abdomen sticking out. Um, yeah, I guess I'm more used to girls being half naked than seeing half naked guys, so probably that's why. You see a lot more naked girls in movies and animes and stuff like that. I think I made the eyes too big for this bird. It looks kind of strange. It seems just super surprised, like, oh, what are you doing here? I wasn't expecting you to come on my branch. I didn't even tidy up the place. You could have called before coming. How rude of you to come so unexpected. So I'll probably have to change that at some point. And on the inside here, I'm gonna have to do a lot more lighting up the colors, because it's on the inside of the wing and I've seen it's more desaturated, so I'm gonna try and do that. Hear what? Do you hear a ghost? It's the ghost in the shell that's been whitewashed. Boo, boo. It's me, the ghost of Christmas past. No, I'm not playing ads. I don't have any supporters. Any, what they're called? Uh, Not investors, not patrons. What they're called? Hmm. What they're called? It's on the tip of my tongue. Sponsors, yes. Remember the word. Yep, so sadly I have no sponsors. I'm not getting any love on that side. But maybe someday I will have sponsors, and if I'm really lucky, I'll be so rich that I can sponsor other people. And I'm gonna go with the pen after I finish smudging this here. Disaster. Hisame and tough lifestyle with big money from sponsors. What is a tough lifestyle? What do you mean? Is it like a magazine or what? Did you hear me, Anna? I don't know if it cut off again. Do you hear me? Is it a TV show or what is it? Ah, Thug Life. Thug Life. I think I read Tough Life. You wrote Tough Life and instead of Thug Life. Thug, I think, is some kind of gangster. Yeah. The Thug Life. Yeah, me and The Thug Life. I'm not sure that wing is connected properly. I like completely forgot to go to the book club here in Mount Pleasant the other week, but the hostess was so sour all the time and all the email replies that I didn't even feel bad about forgetting to go. There's not much in the way of yeah. So this is the blending brush and this is the painting brush. And for the blending brushes, for the painting brushes, you can select the blending mode. But for the blending brushes, see the combine mode, or in Photoshop it's called the blending mode, is not active, which I think is the same in Photoshop. I'm curious. I don't know if you can blend and also change something in it. Okay, so you have the brush here in Photoshop, and you have a normal blending mode, and then you have the multiply. So when you write over it, it should have been multiply. Come on. Why is it not working? It's a bug or what? There, yeah. Now you can see it. I don't know why it wasn't working on red. Weird. Anyway, so you have the multiply here, and you have kind of a blending option in the smudge tool. And yeah, you have some options, but you don't have as many. So you have the darken, but I honestly don't see any difference. Oh, look, there it is, darken. Okay. Lighten. Yeah, I see it's turning to pink. Yep. So there is that in Photoshop, but you don't have it in Clip Studio Paint. But these are the blending brushes here in Clip Studio Paint, so with the B. And the airbrush also has B, so let's change that because it's stupid. Where are the keyboard shortcut settings? There we go. Tools. Okay. I want the pen to be B. And I want the wait, what is pen? Oh, that's the pen. No, okay, pen, I want it to be P, And the pencil, I want it to be B, and the brush, tough choice. I'll put it N. I don't know what N does really. Airbrush, I'll change it to A. Probably gonna regret doing this. Eraser E. What is a blend? What is the blend tool? Brush, airbrush, decorations, eraser. Oh, okay. There's this other thing. Okay, there's another set of blending brushes here, which I don't know. Let's find out what they do. So I don't see any difference. Let me just make another layer here and color it white. Okay, let's see what these blend brushes do. Okay, this is not writing anything. I'll write with this. Oh, so it's just making it really blurry. Meh. This is blurring. This is just a smudge. Not interesting. Yeah. Brush density. Maybe. Not really. I find that these are much more interesting in what you can do. So the ones immediately under the pencil. And this I wanted it to be a B. Oh, shortcut settings. So I want the pencil to be edit B. Okay. And then I'll smudge, and you have a lot more options here. Like, this looks really nice, and when you also combine it with interesting colors, then yeah, you can make interesting things. The mixer brush in Photoshop, let me see. Mixer brush, was it here? Come on, open. Airbrush, paintbrush. Okay, let's see. Art history brush. Okay, don't remember what this does. mixer brush. Where was the mixer brush? I don't remember. Can you guide me? Is it how many brushes below the standard brush? It's under the normal brush. Okay, I have the clone tool under the normal brush. No tool preset defined for current tool. Let's see, what is this thing here? Clone source. With water drop icon. Water drop icon. I know there's a water drop icon here, but it's the blur tool. And what? I'm missing some brushes. I know there was supposed to be more here. There we go. I have the sponge tool, the burn tool, smudge and sharpen, art tool, art history brush, pattern stamp tool. You see the little arrow in the brush icon? Yep. There it is. Why didn't it appear here in this list? Oval, non-Photoshop airbrush. Okay, let's see. It's called mixer brush here, but oh, that was for the other one. Okay, so it's not the same list. Okay, what does this little brush do? I see. And shape dynamics. Okay, let's try. Why don't I have much of a shape dynamic? Oh, that's interesting. It's mixing the blue that I have and the colors. It's pretty interesting. But it doesn't have as much texture and interest as in the default brushes in Paint Storm or in Manga Studio. Probably need to create my own settings for these. Wet 80%. Load. Because I don't know if you notice in Paint Storm it simulates acrylic painting much better. It's kind of like an Art Rage. In Art Rage they're also very good at it. Here the texture isn't that great and it's kind of blurry and not much detail or interest. I try and add some more colors into it. So let's try the mixer brushes. Try the brushes here. It's pretty blurry. It's just smudges everything. resolution. I will try on a bigger scale. Maybe it's my fault. Okay, and let's see. No, it's still the same problem. It's kind of blurred. It smudges a lot of things. Yeah, so far I'm liking the paint storm most. Delete this layer. And I'm at 200%. So let's go to, yeah, this size. Yeah, I totally understand. Since it is more clear. The brushes and the colors keep their vibrancy even when you're smudging colors that are opposite. They still keep a nice color to them. In Photoshop there's an issue with calculating blurry colors. For example, let me just the example was in red and green, so I'm gonna do the same. Okay, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I think this is enough. Okay. So you see here this black line, it shouldn't have appeared because you're blurring this green and this red that are the same saturation. So there's no need why it should have darkened it. Sorry. So this is an issue with the programming of Photoshop. So that's why I never blend and blur in Photoshop, because I've noticed that the result wasn't what I expected, and initially I thought it was my fault, but after seeing that YouTube video I realized that the fault was not with me, it was with the Photoshop programming. And also there have been many other issues that I didn't like about Photoshop, so I decided to look for an alternative. And I'm gonna try to erase a bit because I don't want it to be as fluffy. It should be aerodynamic, this bird. So Yeah, yeah. There are definitely advantages to using blending in any program, and if you don't have anything else, that is good enough. I I do my line art uh, in Illustrator or in Photoshop because I have more control over it. I have the warp tool, distort. I have a lot of things in Photoshop, or I can just have a lot of control directly from Illustrator on my illustrations. So I use those for my line art. I'm still not as good in this program for doing the line art, so sometimes I do it in those. I continue what I know best works for me. And then I color here because I really like how uh, it does things. I'll get rid of these black lines. I don't like them. And here as well. Because the colors are so warm, it seems to me like the line art is slightly bluish, which obviously isn't true because it's black 100%. And it's just one of those optical illusions. It's really interesting. Oh, it's 5:30. I have to end the stream. And I will see you next week. And next week I will be doing the line art for Niels Feynman's page 7 June. I think we've gotten to page 7, if I'm not mistaken. No, page 6. Page 6. Page 6? I don't remember. Yeah, page 6. Page 6. And this is the October wallpaper for my Patreon patrons. So, for those of you that don't know what Patreon is, go check it out. It's a really awesome website that allows continuous crowdfunding for content creators. So patreon.com, and you can find me there, Hisame Artwork. And I also give rewards because it registers how much you paid me every month. And Kay, I sent you an email regarding your reward for this month, so let me know what you want. Yeah, you sent me a screen. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go look at that, and thank you all for watching, and see you next week. No, don't go. Okay. Is it something you wanted to tell me? Okay. Waiting for reply. Lag is long, so I have to wait for you to see, then to reply, and then for me to get the reply, and then to answer. Ah, you were joking. Okay. Okay then. See you guys next week. Bye bye.